perhaps this is our third lesson of the week. Again, not a difficult one, but quite a nasty topic, a really nasty thing. Not difficult, but it's just a nasty thing, and that's called inflation. Okay, what is inflation? The prices of everything goes up every year. Okay, you might have noticed, you might have not, but things that were last year 100 rand are now 120 rand. Okay, you will notice that when you have to pay from your own pocket, guaranteed. Okay, so let's have a look at milk. Okay, so milk, let's say, is about 20 rand 2 liters, sometimes a little bit above, some a bit below. Next year it's going to be more, right? Now, when we talk about inflation, we usually use percent, and I think, you know, it's quite safe to say, let's say, work on 6% interest. Okay? That means that every year the cost of milk goes up by 6%. Let's try and plot the cost of milk, let's say in years, okay, starting with 20 rand. Next year it is going to be a little bit more, okay? 20 and a little bit, 21, 22 rand. Then it will be a bit more, and a bit more, and a bit more, and then we can plot a graph. Now the question I want to ask, what do you think, what kind of interest are we working with? Are we working with simple interest? Is it an increase linearly? Or is it a compound interest? It's going to go up and up and up. Okay? And the answer is, you probably guess, is compound interest. Because when I say the price of milk goes up by 6% every year, we adding 6% not just on the 20 rand, we're adding 6% on the cost of the milk on that year. So after 1 year, it's going to go up from 20 to 21 rand, let's say. Okay? We add 6% of 20. But the next year, we're adding 6%, not on 20, we're adding 6% on the cost of milk before, which was, let's say, 21 rand here. So 6% of 21 is more than 6% of 20 years, so it's going to go up by a bit more. Let's say to 23 rand. Then the following year, we're adding 6%, not on the 21, on the 20, but 6% on the 23, so it's going to go even more. So you get the picture here, you get an exponential increase. Okay, so when I calculate inflation, we always, as far as in the economy, we're always going to work with compound interest. So we can ditch the simple interest, we're going to kiss it goodbye, we're not going to need it. Okay? And what we're going to do as a little exercise is just calculate, very simple calculation. Cost of milk right now is 20 rand. How much is it going to cost in 10 years? If I assume that the rate of inflation is 6%. Now that's just a guess. Next year it could be 5, it could be 10. That's what economists do. They just assume the rate of inflation will remain the same. So we got to use the compound interest. What is the A? Or what is the P? The P is your 20 rand. Okay, that's the amount in the beginning. A, we don't know. We want to calculate. I is 0.06, right? Because we divide the percentage, 6 divided by 100. And N, we say 10 years. So it's just a simple calculation of compound interest. A equal 20 rand times 1 plus 0.06 power 10. We can just put that into the calculator. I'm going to write 20 times. I'm going to do that in my head. So I'm going to write times 1.06 power, because my clever calculator can do both maths, power 10, 35.82. 35.82. Okay? Right. So in 10 years, it's almost going to double itself, ladies and gents. That's how interest works. Okay? Let's do one more example. Okay, the next example, again, pretty easy, but it's going to introduce us to a little subtlety here. So we've got, by the way, we're in page 213, exercise 3. I'm just working through the examples before that. So we're told that in 1995, a computer programmer earned 4,500 rand a month. That was an average. Okay? By 2015, 20 years later, the average of the wage of a computer programmer was 9,000. Double. Okay? It's a big change. Now the question is, if the rate of interest is 6.1% per year, is his purchasing power of this computer programmer the same as it was, more or less? Now, like, that sounds a bit complicated. First of all, what is purchasing power? What does purchasing power mean? Look, I'm earning a certain amount here in South Africa. And I've earned a different amount in the UK. In the UK, I earn more money. If you compare the rand to the pound, I earn much more in the UK. But does that mean that my purchasing power in the UK is more than here? Well, it is actually. But just because I earn more in the UK doesn't mean that my purchasing power, what I can buy with my money, doesn't necessarily mean that it's higher in the UK, because obviously things are more expensive in the UK. So purchasing power is like what you can buy with your money. The same case here. Okay, this computer program in 2015 is obviously earning double the amount in 1995, but does it mean you can buy double the amount in 1995? No, because things are more expensive in 2015. So how can we do it? So we're going to work with the interest rate, the 6.1 interest for inflation, not interest rate, rate of inflation. Now, just as an aside, how did they calculate the rate of inflation? Because, okay, we worked with milk, so I can count how much the milk went up every year, and I can say that the interest of inflation, or milk has an inflation of 6.5%. But I don't know what, potatoes have a rate of inflation of 2%, and fish have a rate of 10%, and meat have a rate of inflation of 8%. So what's the rate of inflation? When the banks, when the government talks about rate of inflation, what are they talking about? Milk, fish? Well, what they work with is like a basket of goods. They take bread, milk, maybe margarine, petrol, alcohol, probably, I don't know. They have like a basket of goods that they say an average family in South Africa purchase, and they count how much it costs every year, and that's how they calculate interest rate. So just for your interest. So 6.1% interest says that every year a South African family has to pay an extra 6.1% on buying the same goods, not more, the same goods that they bought last year. And we need to see if this dude's purchasing power increase, decrease, or remain the same. So how am I going to do it? What I'm going to do, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to take that 4,500, okay, and I'm going to inflate that, use that the rate of inflation. Let's say with that 4,500 rand, the wage he got in 1995, he paid rent, he paid the mortgage, he paid petrol for his car, he paid for bread, milk, okay? He spent all the money. So that is really the amount that I have in the beginning. That's your P, okay? That is going to be your interest. The interest is 0.061. I just divide by 100. And your N, the number of years, we said is 20 years. So it's just a way of calculating A. I can use all this information to calculate the A. Okay? So I'll explain that in a second. So A equal P, I'm using compound interest. 4,500, 1 plus 0.061 to the power of 20. Okay? What did I really do here? I took the wage I got in 1995 and I said, look, the companies always increase, or they should increase the wages of the workers by a certain amount because inflation, otherwise their workers won't be able to buy the product. If they use the proper rate of inflation, okay, 6.1%, then to keep the same purchasing power, so the worker will be able to buy the same amount of goods as he bought in 1995, that's the wage they should pay. 4,500 times 1 plus the interest rate, or the inflation rate, power 20. Let's do that. Let's do it. Come on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is 4,500 times, I'm just going to add that to it, 1,061 power 20, and I'm getting 14,706, 14,706, and a little bit of cents, 87 I think. Now check this out. In the beginning, when you heard that this worker, his wage doubled, you said, oh wow, he's a lucky guy, isn't it? But when you compare that to the rate of inflation, okay, for him to have bought the same amount of goods in in 1995, with a rate of inflation, annual inflation of 6%, his wage should be 14,000, but his wage is only 9,000. So you can see that individual worker got squeezed. Okay, he's earning more. He's earning double the amount he's earning in 1995, but he can't buy the same amount of goods. He has to live on less. Okay? And that's actually probably very true for most workers, not everyone, but most workers in South Africa and in the world, I would say. We have to live on less. Okay? Have a lovely day, guys. See you in the last lesson of the week.